Oh, you can hear me now? All right, sorry about that, fellas. StreamYard's kind of a new thing for me. All right, so what we're taking a look at here is we're just going to go ahead and build uh, a Vegas script lineup, and with that, Nick Chubb's obviously going to be the Uber chalk. All right, perfect. Nick Chubb's obviously going to be the Uber chalk, and with the Browns being the 6.5 point favorites, I see no problems trying to run the defense out there to get you a little salary savings. They're not priced up, but I don't have any expectation that Colt McCoy is really going to do anything. Um, I have a couple of targets, and it's largely just going to be Slayton and Gallman for me. I'm probably going to be running a whole lot of Browns onslaughts. There's not really anything that interests me outside of those two guys and maybe the kicker on the Giant side. So let's go ahead and let's throw Slayton in there because with the cover two zone concepts, that's actually when I specifically like to target Slayton just because of the route combinations that he runs, those deep posts and those bunch formations, those crossing routes. That's when he can be really effective. And if the Giants can block a little bit for him, he might be able to break one or two open and give you a little bit. So Slayton's going to go ahead and be my my one Giant for sure that we're going to be rocking. Now that leaves us plenty of salary really to work with. What I'm thinking about doing here, we got Jarvis Landry at 9,800. And even then, we still have ourselves 5,800 to work with. So you could even run somebody like a Wayne Gallman. And there are a few options down here that I'm actually going to touch on. I hate Golden Tate, but he might catch one or two, maybe catch a touchdown. Oh, let me see. Captain, Hunt, Chubb, Higgins, Gano, Gallman. My preference is Slayton. Uh, Shepard, I mean, Shepard's more of he runs a lot of your slot routes. He runs a lot of your timing routes, and I'm not so certain that McCoy's going to have that sort of timing with him. So Slayton is going to be my guy tonight. If I do have a receiver, I'm avoiding Evan Ingram to get altogether. He doesn't do well with the soft tissue injuries. Anytime he's got a calf or a hamstring or anything like that, I pretty much cross him off on my list. Now I'll put him in my article, but I made it very clear that it's going to be minimal use. I wouldn't do it. And I mean, unless you're feeling really froggy, if you're playing in the big contest, you might be good to go ahead and maybe throw one or two of them with Ingram in there, but I would not go heavy on it with that calf problem that he has. Now, there as far as your dumpster dives, I know Twitch loves to get my dumpster dives. There's one guy that let me go ahead and clear this out. There's one guy for the Browns that I want to check on his status, and you probably want to keep an eye on it closer to lock. Marvin Hall signed with the Browns. He was inactive last week, but the guy's pretty quick, and he had some decent games for the Lions before they cut him. And he might roll into that number 3 wide receiver position, and he's only $200. So that dude might end up being your slate breaker for tonight if he ends up being active. If he gets anywhere near, 30 to 40% snap share, split some things up with Peoples Jones, he could absolutely ruin this slate for anybody that doesn't play him. But I have to check to see what his availability is first. But let's go ahead and build a Giants a lineup with the Giants in at the captain spot. Let's see. Like I said, I only got my two guys that I'm really thinking about. So let's go ahead and build one with Gallman. And this will be going under the expectation that the Browns actually get down a little bit and Gallman ends up running the ball a little bit more. And, put him in the wrong spot. In that case, I'd want to make sure I got Baker Mayfield and Jarvis Landry in there. Now, Mm. Oh, are you talking about my you talking about my dumpster dives for the Giants or for the Browns? The two guys for the Giants that I was talking about was just Darius Slayton and Wayne Gallman. Those are the only two guys that I'm really interested in on that team. So, but if we're going to build a Giant centric lineup, I would the only two guys that I would really go for today is Slayton and Gallman. That'll probably be the majority of your points right there for the G men, unless the defense scores one. Which, with the way that Baker has turned the ball over this season, it's definitely possible. Yeah, that's it. It's definitely possible, but I'm not really banking on it. Like I said, most of my lineups are gonna be centered around the Browns. I'm actually gonna have a number of lineups where I have both Hunt and Chubb in there, but actually, let's go ahead and build that real quick. Oop. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys one with Hunt in the captain spot because if $20 or 20 inch $1 captain, there you go. I like it. 20 entry $1 captain Hunt, Chubb, Higgins, Brown, Browns, Gallman, and Parkey. I think that's a good route. That's a good little onslaught that you can go with there. Um, I'm going to be running a lot of combinations like that with pretty much every type of every type of Browns player that you can think of tonight. But Kareem Hunt is a good little pivot. Actually, you know what? This is the one that I wanted to make sure you guys actually saw here. I think this right here could potentially be something that would go under owned. Everybody's expecting the ground game to be showcased here for the Browns, and I don't blame them. You know, probably 8 times out of 10, we're going to get that. And everybody kind of remembers how bad Baker Mayfield looks. But you got to remember, like 3 of those games that he had this year, we were dealing with 50-mile-an-hour wind and snow and rain and cold weather. So it's no wonder he threw for 130, 140 yards those games. I mean, he looked like absolute garbage, but he's come on as of late and he's looked really, really fantastic. I kind of killed myself. I pivoted off of him the other week when he went off when he no he threw those 4 touchdowns, but he looks pretty good right now with Landry as the number one. So the I like the idea of trying to run him out there with a Landry and then somebody like a Marvin Hall if he's active. Because I think they're going to be running a lot more 3 and 4 wide receiver sets. Because I know Hooper's still got that neck injury, but they could still. Let's see, where is he at? If Hooper ends up missing out on a bunch of time, you got Harrison Bryant here that you can run out there. And Harrison Bryant's gone off a couple of times too. I think he had that one week where he had 26.3 when Hooper was out and they didn't have Njoku. So that's one scenario that I'm kind of looking at too. If I don't want to run Marvin Hall out there, if Hooper ends up looking like he's going to be limited or going to be out, Harrison Bryant is somebody that I'm absolutely looking at. Now the Giants, Giants front seven is pretty solid, but their secondary is not anything to be scared of. So that'd be my that'd be my lean there is attacking that secondary if you want to do a pivot while everybody else is running, Chubb and Hunt out there, which I think we're going to have a lot of people do that. But that's a definitely a different way that you can attack it. You can bank on Baker Mayfield actually playing a lot better now that the weather's decent, hitting Peoples Jones, hitting Hall, hitting Harrison Bryant, Rashard Higgins, any combination of those guys, Jarvis Landry, and just attacking the air game and using maybe like Kareem Hunt out of the passing game because that's what they'd like to use him for more often than not. Sneaky, who would be your best sneaky captain for cash? I think Jarvis Landry. I think he's a good pivot. I think everybody is gonna focus on your run game for Cleveland, and I think the passing game is probably gonna go underowned. I wouldn't go. It would either be Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, or Jarvis Landry. I See. I wouldn't be comfortable playing Slayton for cash. I'd like him for GPP. I say he is getting eight. He's probably going to get anywhere between 8 to 10 targets from Colt McCoy today, but what he's going to do with them is just completely up in the air. He may break one, he may only catch two for 23, but it's all or nothing. It depends on if Colt can get it to him and give him an opportunity to run after the catch. That's my only concern there. I'd stay away from the Giants in cash. Well, actually, Wayne Gallman. You can use Wayne Gallman. He's had double-digit DK points in 7 straight games. So he's good for at least 12 to 16 every week. So he would be a decent option if you wanted to go cash with Gallman. Yeah. So yeah, you could definitely do that. That would actually be a pretty safe Giant. He's the only one with any sort of consistent fantasy production. But let me see. Actually, let's see if we can. Let's see. Jarvis Bigman, Marvin Hall. I'm gonna go ahead and swap Marvin Hall out there because he's definitely more of a GPP centric guy. Let's see. There's your Gallman. You could actually do Nick Chubb. Oh yeah, there's plenty of room for you to do a Gallman cash lineup. With Harrison Bryant and Marvin Hall on the Browns roster now, you can sneak either one of those guys in, and if they're active, they're going to get you enough to go ahead and score you some points. Oh yeah. All right, let's get a little bit weird here. Why do I keep trying to reserve this? I'm going to go ahead and build one more lineup real quick, and I'm going to go ahead and play with the Darius Slayton lineup real quick and play the Giants are the ones that are actually getting out in front. And then I think that's going to be it for me. I think we got holiday things going on. I just wanted to make sure I hopped on here and talked to you guys a little bit. All right, let's go ahead. Let's throw my favorite wide receiver for the Giants up there. Oh, Darius Slayton. And Wayne Gallman for his double-digit points. And we're expecting him to have a little bit heavier workload. No matter what, I don't think I can't use Colt McCoy. So we're going to go ahead and just avoid that altogether. Oh, yeah. Adam just said, yeah, if you're hopping on props, Chubb over 74.5 and 18.5 carries, Landry over 4.5 receptions. I agree with him wholeheartedly. They're going to hit them from a bunch of different directions. So I can't believe they actually have a 4.5 catch prop for Landry today. I'd jump on that if you're in a state where you can do props. All right. Let's see. Slayton, Gallman. It'd be Landry. Let's go Kareem Hunt for the passing down work. And Harrison Bryant. As you can see, if you put a Giant up there, you can pretty much go in any direction you want to go. My single entry cash, it'd be Wayne Gallman, Nick Chubb, or Jarvis Landry. Gallman only Giant on FanDuel GPP. Yeah, he has the best touchdown equity. That would be the guy that I would go for. If we're just running one Giant, 4 Browns over there, that would be the way that I would go. Gallman would be my only guy. I mean, he gets work no matter what the scenario is. If he gets ahead, he gets extra carries. If they get behind, they throw him the ball. They target them when they're behind, 4 or 5 times. And I know this pace is supposed to be slow, but you can't play defenses on FanDuel. So Gallman is an excellent choice as your only giant. But all right. I'm gonna give everybody a couple of more minutes. If you guys want to ask me any more questions before I head out of here, I'm about to get my wife and we're about to get ready to go take the kids down to a little Christmas celebration. All right. Okay. Baker, Captain, Chubb, Hunt, Peoples Jones, Gallman, and Tate. If you're gonna run Baker as a captain, I'd probably want to swap one of your running backs out for another pass catcher, whether it be a Jarvis Landry or Rashard Higgins or, like I said, Harrison Bryant or Marvin Hall. If the cards fall right, I'd go ahead and limit that to one running back and switch it up that way. Because if Baker's gonna get you enough to get there as a captain, you're gonna want more than one pass catcher. And Golden Tate, like I said, he scares me, but he's good for GPP. He might only catch one ball, but it'll be a 30-yard touchdown, and that'll be enough for his price. All right. I think that's about it, fellas. I just wanted to hop on here for a couple of minutes, say hey to everybody, do me a little stream for our Showdown slate in the event that I'm not going to be able to hop on Discord a whole heck of a lot tonight. And we're going to look at those Christmas lights. So I hope everybody has a good day. Sticks, good luck. I hope everything's going well. Haven't had a chance to talk to you yet. And thank you for joining me, fellas. Oh, got one more. Hold on. Best value under 4K. Let's see what we got here. If Hooper doesn't go, Harrison Bryant. Thanks, bud. Harrison Bryant would be my favorite guy under 4K. If Austin Hooper does end up going and Marvin Hall's active, I like him as the dirt cheap option. And if you're making me pick a giant under 4K, actually either one of the kickers are under 4K, I'd go with them before I went with any other giant. I'm just not a fan of what they have going on right now. All right, fellas, take care. Appreciate you joining me. That's it.